All right, let's begin. Shri Chakravasini Devi Namaste, Shivakama Sundari Devi Namaste, Shri Krishna Sodari Devi Namaste, Rajarajeshwari Devi Namaste, Rajarajeshwari Devi Namaste, Padmadala Lochani Devi Namaste, Bhakta Paripalini Devi Namaste, Parvat Vartini Devi Namaste, Rajarajeshwari Devi Namaste, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, करुणाविलासिनी देवी नमस्ते, कात्यायनी गौरी देवी नमस्ते, कदम्बवनवासिनी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, अन्नपूर्णेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, अखिलांडेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, अभयप्रदायिनी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, सत्यस्वरूपिणी देवी नमस्ते, सद्गुरु रूपिणी देवी नमस्ते, धर्मस्वरूपिणी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, अखंड परिपूरणी देवी नमस्ते, आदि पराशक्ति देवी नमस्ते, अखिल परिपालिनी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, अनंत रक्षक देवी नमस्ते, सौभाग्यदायिनी देवी नमस्ते, संतान लाभ प्रदे देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, पाहि भुवनेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, श्री विद्यारूपिणी देवी नमस्ते, शक्ति स्वरूपिणी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते, राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते। जय हो। So we have been learning about Gyan Khanda, about knowledge, the greatest knowledge from Tripura Rahasya, this book. And last time where we ended, the conversation is happening between some great, really knowledgeable stalwarts, Dattatreya Bhagwan talking to Parshuram, two great people. And in that story, the story is of Ashtravakr talking to Janak. All of them are great in their own ways. And Ashtravakra Vakra is a Brahmana. Brahman means Brahman in those days were like, okay, spiritual people, knowledgeable people are Brahman. So he's a Brahman. And he knows the scriptures, everything about it. And in Raja Janak is king. He's the father of Sita. He's a king. So most of the conversations you see in our scriptures will be like that only. A king talking to a saintly person. Most of the scriptures are like that. Both of them are talking. So one person, Janak, is called Videha. Videha means who has gone beyond the body. The purpose of all the sadhanas, all the chanting, whatever you do, meditation, is to go beyond the body. So the story when you see, okay, here is a Brahmana who is very well versed in the scriptures. Very well versed. He knows about that highest destination that you have to reach after your meditation. He knows about it very well. And here is King Janak, who has experienced this very well. And this Brahmana, this learned Brahmana, is talking to king. A king has so many duties to do, but yet he's detached. And that is why he's called Videha. Videha means he's detached from his body. He's doing all his duty, but he's detached from his body. And he is explaining, these two great people are talking. From where did this story start? Why did they talk? We heard the story last time that Raja Janak was doing a sacrifice ceremony, fire sacrifice yagya. And in that yagya, all the Brahmanas had come, all the learned people had come. And then at the same time, Varun, who is the god of waters, he also did the same um, sacrificial ceremony, but nobody has come to his place. And his son got angry. Varun's son got angry, and he came and he defeated all the Brahmanas and he took them all inside the sea. And then at that time, Ashtavakra came, because Ashtavakra's father was also taken by Varuni. And Ashtavakra had a debate with him on this concept. And then Varuni was defeated, and Varuni had to return all the Brahmins. Ashtavakra became had a little pride that, wow, because of him, all the Brahmins were, rescued. At that scene, one lady came, very intelligent lady. She was Yogini, an austere lady. And then she asked Ashtavakra that, you seem to be very knowledgeable and you have done a great thing. You brought all the Brahmins back. So you seem to be knowledgeable to me. I have a question. And he says, yeah, sure, why not? And she asks, tell me about that highest abode, that highest destination. What is recommended, where we have to reach? What do you know about it? So he starts saying, well, I have read the scriptures very well, and I know what the scriptures say. The scriptures say that cannot be known. That highest abode, that highest destination is unknown. Yet who knows it is freed from all dualities. There is nothing that is left to be achieved. That abode is unknown. But for the one who knows, he gets everything. So this lady says, whatever you said has contradictory statements. He's like, what do you mean? She's like, you just started saying that destination is unknown. And now you say, if somebody knows it, he's free from dualities. So now please tell me clearly, unknown and known. You're saying somebody knows it. And at one point you say unknown. And now you say somebody knows it. How can you know the unknown? What is that unknown? And how can you know it if something is unknown? That means either you don't know, or you have just read from the scriptures and you're trying to just quote me the scriptures. You yourself don't know about that unknown. And that's why you said unknown. Ashtavakra was like, wow, what a reply. Slay. So Ashtavakra is like, whatever you are saying is right. I have read the scriptures, but I really have not experienced that state. So please, can you just give me some insights on it? So she's like, yeah, she gave a lot of insights. And then she said, for now, this is enough. I've spoken a lot. I have to leave. If you really want to know more about it, in this whole assembly, there are two people. I know it, or Raja Janak, King Janak knows it. Go and talk to Janak. He will explain you more. After that, she left. This is where we left the story on Saturday. Today we are learning more. Dattatreya is telling this story to Parshuram, and Parshuram is astonished. He's very happy. Parshuram marveled, and then he requested his master to continue. He said, my Gurudev, this ancient legend is really marvelous. Please tell me, what did Ashtavakra tell to King Janak? And what did King Janak, what knowledge did he impart? I'm really anxious. I really want to know it. Dattatreya was very happy. And he said, O Parshuram, after the lady ascetic left, Ashtavakra went to Janak. Janak was surrounded by Pandits, and the full explanation of what the ascetic spoke, everything Ashtavakra told to Janak. And Janak listened. And then Janak replied. He said, O Brahmin, Ashtavakra, listen to me. It is neither unknowable nor remains unknown at that moment. The destination about which you were talking with the lady, ascetic. It is neither unknowable nor remains unknown at any time. So how do you know? How can you know the unknown? And he gives one reply. He says, the one who goes to a guru. A guru who knows this can tell you how to know it. So if a guru can teach, he says, let me take the sloka. Muni putra shunu vacho maya yat prochate adhuna na avaidyam sarvatha tadhi vedanchapi cha sarvatha. It is not, it cannot be known easily. That is true. But it cannot be known. That is not true. That is not true. It is difficult to know that stage. Gurur 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 avad veda etat Gurur avad veda etat vammat ado gurum shayet etat vadenam atyantam sulabam dushakam chahi. He says, you can know it if you approach a guru. If a guru can teach, it means that he knows what he's saying. This transcendental state, what the lady ascetic asked you, yes, it is not quite easy to achieve it. It may be highly impossible, but it is impossible according to one's mind. Depends on the listener. If the mind is very outwardly, if the mind is restless, then you cannot know this transcendental state. So first condition is go to the guru, listen to him attentively, and that outward mind, make it inward. It cannot be taught. If somebody says this is unknown, no, it cannot be taught if it is unknown. So, and he goes on saying that this has been pointed in the Vedas about that stage. So Vedas are not lying. That knowledge is there. The gurus have experienced it. He goes on saying, so why are you not able to experience? He says the reason somebody is not able to experience is because their mind as well as all their sense organs are caught up in external things. The only easy way to experience that thing is bring all the minds, all the sensory organs, control them and bring them all to that consciousness. Bring them all to that center of consciousness inside your body. Center of consciousness. First of all, we have to know what is consciousness. Then we'll come to know where the center of consciousness is. And we spoke about this. I've spoken about this in Gita also. Consciousness is pervading everywhere. And that is you. That consciousness goes away. This body is like a dress, like fallen down. So that consciousness is pervading everywhere. But from where? But from where? Which is the center? The center of the consciousness is your heart, actually. Because here is where the soul lives. So one has to focus on that center of consciousness. And that center of consciousness is that Param Tattva, that supreme essence that everybody is looking. That is making the world move. That is what is the reason of everything that you see. So one has to bring that conscious energy is everywhere. But where is the center? The center is in everybody's heart. So when you are in the world, so I'm explaining you the whole process, a lot of deep topics, okay? So he says, the whole world is running because of that one conscious energy. And that one conscious energy is Tripura Shakti. It is there in it is there in the living and the non-living things. It is there in everybody's mind. Everybody is looking. And when we say, okay, bring your energy, bring your attention inwards. Even when you bring your attention inwards, you're not able to feel the center of consciousness. Why? Because your mind starts showing you a picture. You close your eyes. Okay, you're chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, and the mind is seeing picture. Oh, that office work. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Oh, my mother, she said me this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Oh, that friend, she had called me for the party. I have to dress up. I have to buy this dress. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So somebody will say, oh, that mind. Is mind the consciousness? Well, it is a part. It is an expansion of your consciousness. Yes, that consciousness has expanded into your organs. And one of the organ is the mind, the leader of all the other organs. So you are chanting, you're trying to control, but your consciousness is only thinking. At one moment, the consciousness is God conscious, Krishna conscious. The next moment, the consciousness is world conscious. So what Janak is saying, that picture that you're seeing, no, that should go away. Come down from all the things that you're seeing. All the things that you're seeing. Go beyond that seeing. People fall in love. That person is the center of their life. Everything for that person. So you're chanting. The chanting also becomes to get that person. I have seen people do so much tapasya, so much chanting, and they dedicate it to that whomever they love. It could be husband, it could be boyfriend, it could be anybody, or girlfriend or whatever. To that person. Oh, let good things happen to that person. You worked so hard, by which this is agyanta, as we say, this is ignorance. We are working so hard. We are, from our busy schedule, we find out 1 hour to chant. That 1 hour of chanting can give us liberation. But no, we also don't want to get liberated, and we want to get more tied to some other human being who is also going to die. I'm also going to die. That person also going to die. And this mantra can give me liberation. But no, I will do all the mantras so that good thing happen to that person who's going to die. And that person is doing his own karmas. But no, I will chant for that person because I love. This love is ignorance. So in our mind, and then we try to justify that act. If I do good thing for that person, good thing will happen to me. So it's okay even if he goes away from me. So no problem. What an ignorance. Good things will. That's why Gita is very important before you come to this stage, because these are higher talks, very higher talks. Again, go back to the same topic. Good things will take you to good planets and bring you back to earth. Not sure that you will be liberated. You will not reach that transcendental abode. After going there, there is no coming back to this planet again. But for that, you have to really work hard. And that working hard is cutting off all these pictures that you have created. If I get that man, I'll be happy. Even if that man doesn't do anything for me, it's okay. I'll dedicate my everything to him. I'm doing punya, merits. That punya, maybe not in this life, the other life. And that guy, you have dedicated everything to him, and that guy is only going on doing some sinful activities. Next life, again, he will come. You will not realize. Next life, you will cry. Why this happening to me only? Why not? I'm not getting love. That mental picture, so many pictures you're creating day in and day out. This topic is very high. You have to rise beyond all these mental pictures that you create. This is what Janak is talking. So that's why I started. Oh, the stalwarts are talking. Stalwarts are talking. He's telling Ashtravakr, take away all the pictures from your head. Then you can understand that transcendental abode. It is unknown. Because your mind is not able to go there. Why is it not able to go there? Because it is not able to calm itself. It is not able to take away that pictures from your mind. How many lives you came? How many births you took? How many children you have? How many husbands you had? How many mothers you had? How many fathers you had? In every life, life after life, only you wasted your time praying for this, that, and this endless cycle continued. Because you went on writing the picture, niyati, niyati, niyati. Yesterday, the 36th tattva, we said niyati, niyati means destiny. You went on writing your own destiny. I want this people again in my other life. I want that person again in my life. You created. So when you go to the Guru is trying to open your mind. What are you craving for? That soul whom you are trying, okay, because of me, that soul is going to benefit. Understand, that soul is going, you are giving your tapasya to that person, no doubt. It is going to go in their good account, no doubt. It's like as if you write down $100,000 to somebody, you have given $100,000. So it's going to help. But if that person is worthy, that $100,000, he will use it for something else. But if that person is unworthy, your $100,000 will be wasted. It was not useful to you, not to that person. Similarly, all the tapasya that you do, you can pray for the world. You can give it. But when we make relationship like this, one person, this person, that person, we limit our relationships. Then we are bound by it. We are bound by it. And when we start seeing God in everything, we surrender everything to God. And we believe that whoever is our near and dear one, God will take care, because I am not the one. Before me also these souls were there. After me also these souls will be there. I work for my liberation. And whatever tapasya I do, whatever merits I get, I give it for the betterment of the world. Because at one stage, your family is not just this 4 or 5 people. Your family is the entire world. We are talking higher things here. We are talking expansion of our vision, expansion of our understanding. And this is what Janak, King Janak, he is the ruler of the world. But to him, why is he called Videya? Because for him, his entire kingdom is his family, not just Sita. Sita was suffering so greatly. Sita suffered so greatly. A person whose daughter is suffering so greatly. Can you imagine what will be the state of mind of that father if he was an ordinary father? He was extraordinary, and that's why Sita was born to him extraordinary. She could take everything. She's called Vaidehi. So he's also working. But he's detached. Why is he detached? Because he has worked on this picture of life, which is going on in everybody's head. He has experienced that transcendental abode, that transcendental joy. And he's able to talk about that to this Ashtravakr who knows it through the books. We pin our happiness in things. Why do we pin our happiness on things? He's telling you, Janak is asking you to go beyond objects. Go beyond the objects. Think beyond. As I told you, you are pinning your hopes because you're looking for some happiness from that. And this happiness will give you another happiness. That happiness will give you another happiness. You think, you make picture of your life. My son should study in so-and-so college. So you pressure the son. Study, pass this exam, pass that entrance, pass that. Your son has to be like poor kid, he has to be a super kid. He has to excel in everything because he has to come to your expectation. Because you think that the kind of life that you are planning for your son will make him happy, and eventually it will make you happy. So your son is also running with your speed. The way you are running, you make the others also run according to your hopes and aspirations. The poor kid is working hard, and then he passes, then he's excelling, then he's getting into great colleges, and after getting into great colleges, you are still pressurizing, study, get into great company, and he gets into great company, and then he gets a lot of money. All of them running hard. Where does the running stop? The running should stop at some place, right? Some place where they have found happiness. First you said, pass in your exams, be a topper. Did you find happiness? For some momentary, yes. We celebrated and we offered and we distributed sweets everywhere. We were very happy. Then you got married. Everybody danced, thinking you will get happiness. You should have stopped, right? The rat race, no? Then there are husband-wife argument, debate. Then the family gets involved. Okay. Then the next thing, get kids. Are you happy? Again starts the whole cycle. Your mother was taking trouble for you and tension for you. Now you are becoming mother and father and taking troubles and tension for your kid. Cycle starts. The cycle of thinking, the cycle of happiness and unhappiness, gain and loss goes on. Nobody's finding happiness. In pursuit of happiness, everybody is. But where is the happiness? Here Janak is saying, if somebody really wants to get to that transcendental abode, which is the abode of happiness, never-ending bliss, nirvana, one has to one has to go beyond these pictures of life. We go beyond the attachments of life. My son, my daughter, my husband, my family, my. You have to go beyond that my. You have to think again and again, from where is this daughter come? Or from where has this son come? From where is this husband come? Husband, I didn't even know till whatever age, 20, 25 age. Suddenly he comes in life and he's everything. And because of that bodily attachment to the husband and mental attachment, mental body attachment, then you have kids. You are not knowing them till 25 years of your age. Now suddenly you are so attached. All of these are bodily relationships, mental relationships. Who is your very closest? Your body. And this body is also not yours. Because if it was yours, we expect the whole world, our family members, to listen to us. What a irony. We expect every kid, our kids should listen to us, our husband should listen to us, our wife should listen to us. We expect everybody to listen to us. But our own body, which is very closest to us, does not listen to us. So a jnani person, he starts looking beyond. And that looking beyond, so at some time you will see all the forms, figures, everything, and then you realized, okay, everything is just a mental picture. So you close your eyes and then you focus. Who am I? My guru said, you'll say, the mind will say, oh, your guru said the scriptures that you have pure consciousness. Okay, where is the consciousness? Oh, that consciousness is spread in all the body. All right. Your hands can move because it is consciousness. Your fingers can move because it is conscious. Okay. So feel all the consciousness in every body. Then come back. And then you will see that the concentration all that consciousness is concentrated at one point. Usually either the head area or the heart area. You will feel it. I taught this in Vipassana in chapter 6. This what is being taught here is actually Vipassana. Feel the body. When you are meditating, just feel yourself. The meditation, Vipassana meditation or this Tattva Gyan meditation is no mantra here. No mantra. Go with the truth. I really liked it when I met my teacher. He asked me, okay, your scripture says there is soul. So if there is soul, then what you are telling me is all what you learned from Gita. Soul cannot be cut. If I ask you what is soul, you will say, oh, the size of soul is this. The soul cannot be cut. The soul cannot be drowned. The soul cannot be burnt. You will say all this to me. But where is the soul? In heart. Gita says, okay, then experience it. If it is there in your heart, you will experience it. Go and experiment on the truth. Analyze the truth. You can talk about all Devis and Devatas. You know everything. Knowing you, the way you are talking, my teacher was like, the way you are talking, you know everything. But same, what Ashtavakra is going through. You know everything. But have you experienced it? Have you experienced that Atma? Only when you experience Atma, you will be able to explain what is Anatma, what Buddha is talking. But first thing is experience. Maybe we both will be talking the same thing, but the experience. What Buddha taught was the experience, how to experience it. And he took away all the deities and everything from out. He removed all mental pictures. No more mental pictures, no more mental pictures, nothing seeing. First finding out who am I. Vipassana. This is what is being taught here. The starting point was given. Okay, everything is a pure consciousness. Unlike Mahatmya Khanda, where Tripura is explained as some forms. Okay, she's Kali, she's Durga, she's Jwalamalini, she's Varai, she's Tripureshi, she's expanded herself. She's Katyayani, Ganga, Gayatri, Lakshmi. All these forms are given. But here in Gyan Khand, hardly they're talking about the forms. One thing is all chapters you take, they're only talking one thing. She is Parashakti. She is the pure consciousness. She is the supreme consciousness. And if you want to experience that consciousness, Janak is saying, become introvert first. You want to see that Devi. People come to me, I want to see Tripura. Even if she comes to you in the form, 8-handed or 4-handed, nicely sitting in front of you. Are you going to know? That is Lalita. She's just like, Panchabhut, hands and legs and everything. She'll sit in front of you. You know what you will say? Or maybe she's just an actress dressed up fancy dress competition. It's very difficult. You can only feel her, only experience her in her true form, which is the Sachidanand Vigraha, the eternal form of bliss. For that, you have to become that first. Then you experience her presence. So in this book, entirely, everywhere it is spoken. She's pure consciousness, she's pure consciousness, she's pure consciousness. So how will you know a pure consciousness? Only when you become pure consciousness. Right now, what is your consciousness? Worldly consciousness. So from worldly consciousness, you have to come to pure consciousness. When you are in pure consciousness, you experience her as pure consciousness. She is Tripura. She is in all the 3 states. So that you have to develop, Janak is saying. Your eyes have to be internalized. That eyes will be able to experience that pure consciousness. Even when we read Gita, Arjun is speaking to his friend and he's asking, please guide me. And Krishna goes on saying so many things. And then he says, can you show me your form? You have been speaking so much. Are you God really? I think of you as my friend and my friend is giving me great knowledge, but you are talking right now differently. You are saying, I am this, I am that. Please show me. Bhagavan says, you can't see me with these eyes. And then he gave him divine eyes. And with the divine eyes, he was able to see God. Similarly, Janak is saying, if somebody wants to really see or experience that final abode, Parampad, then that person has to turn inside. That consciousness, like we were talking in the meditation in Vipassana, that consciousness is all over the body. But now, right now, no more figures, no more forms. No Tripura, no 400 form, no 800 form, no nothing. The mind cannot sit on anything. It has to experience the pure consciousness because that is what is missing. You're not able to experience the pure consciousness. So in Vipassana, that's what they say. Where is that? Sit. Just take whatever you feel is the truth. Just follow the path of the truth and you will reach the truth. What is the truth? Is this body truth? It is going to go away. What is making this body live? Consciousness. How do you know? What else does this make this body live? The breath, the breathing. The breathing makes the body live. Okay, so breathing is that path. Follow that breathing. Breathing is the breath is connected with your mind. Follow that mind. Read your body for hours and hours, just focusing on the breath. No mantra, no forms. And whatever thoughts come in the head, go beyond the forms. Whatever is happening to the body, so many things will happen. Sometimes the body will shake, sometimes the body will go feel cold. Not only the entire body, at different parts will feel. Sometimes only one finger is hot and the others are ice cold. A different part. You start realizing when you practice that, you start realizing that, oh my God, so many things were happening in me and I was unaware of myself. And then slowly you go beyond that. And the practice come to a stage where everything just is lost. Like there's nothing. No thoughts. No awareness of body. Vileen ho jana. Like merging in something. Merging into transcendence. Stage of bliss. That thoughtless stage of bliss. Mind is free. It could be momentary. But sometimes you can be there in that stage for a long time, but that long time seems momentary. You will not have awareness of time. So that long time is momentary. And when you come to the body, everything is different. So what Janak is talking, that can be experienced. Exactly that's what Buddha did. That can be experienced. How? By turning inside. Taking the mind inside. The mind and its sensations of pain and pleasure, discard them. Concentration is the first step. Whatever you see, concentrate. That concentration will lead you to this stage that I'm talking, and that is what Janak is talking. That stage of self-realization, he says, it can be only realized with absolute purity. So one is concentrating the mind, and then the next level is absolute purity. Because concentrating mind, we do a lot of time, like when we are studying something. We are deep into that. But we are studying. Some people may be reading novels, deep into the novel. So the concentration is there. But purity of mind is not there. Purity of mind is a state where there is no thoughts. Where there is no thought. Absolutely no thought. So sole necessity for self-realization is purity of mind. So what is it that is making the mind impure? Thoughts. Purity of mind is thoughtlessness. What is making it impure? Thoughts. To make the mind thought-free is to keep it pure. So Raja Janak says, so what you are talking now of self-realization, you understood. It must now be clear to you why purity of mind is insisted upon for realization of the self. How can the self be realized in its absence? What is purity of mind? Thoughtlessness. Or how is it possible for the self not to be found gleaming in the pure mind? We are bundle of consciousness, but that consciousness we cannot realize because the mind is full of thoughts that is beaming inside us, glowing inside us. But that glow misses. Why? Because of the mind is always seeing some picture. Sometimes it happens, we get into the path and we start seeing the picture of these things. Our mind starts producing pictures of all these things. The reason I started practicing Buddhism was like at one point I was like, my God, so many images I have stored since childhood, so many Devis, so many ways. I thought something is wrong. I need to just, just first wash everything. So scriptures have given us so many things. The purpose of the scriptures is to direct us toward this state of self-realization. But we read the scriptures, but we have not practiced it the way it has to be practiced. And that is why all the confusions start coming. People read the scriptures and then they fight amongst themselves regarding the forms. And then they will, then somebody will, intelligent will come, from the form to formlessness. That person is also fighting without realizing. It is not about form to formlessness. It is about realizing the pure consciousness that has become into many forms. And that pure consciousness has a form. And that form is Satchidananda. She is Tripura. That form is beyond your eyes. Because you are so accustomed to seeing matter. And this form is beyond matter. So when the books are trying to explain, when the sages are trying to explain, when the gurus are trying to explain, it is not getting into your head. You're not able to think. You're not able to perceive it. But all the injunctions, the scriptures are directed toward to take you from these topics of Dvait, Advait, forms, formless, to take you to that transcendental abode which is called as pure consciousness, which is full of bliss. And for that matter, when you read Gita or any other scriptures, they talk about karma. All the action. And what kind of karma? Gita Bhagavan says, unselfish action, nishkam karma. What is nishkam karma? Doing it for Bhagavan. He made it very easy because Bhagavan is talking directly. And Bhagavan pointed everything towards him. Sarva dharman pratyaja mamekam saranam vraja yat karoshi yat joshi yat ashnashi dadasi yat tat kuruchva madarpanam. He says, whatever actions you are doing, just surrender unto me. It became very easy when Bhagavan talks in Bhagavad Gita. All the scriptures which I am reading now, Tripura Rahasya, it seems very confusing many times. Because they are talking about pure consciousness. And Krishna says, oh, that pure consciousness, here I am in front of you. What? In universal form, he says, what do you want to see? Oh, my universal form, I'll show you universal form. You want to see how I maintain the world? The 400 form, I'll show you that. But oh, Arjun, this 200 form is very difficult to find. Where I am behaving like your friend. So here, that is why in this book, when I talk about consciousness, pure consciousness, sometimes the mind will be like, where, how do I find it? It's very difficult. But when you tell, okay, she is Tripura. She is that divine mother. She is in me, in my heart. It becomes very easy. So our starting point could be in your heart. You are thinking of mother, and slowly you get deeply into that thought that this whole body is only mother. I don't remain, only mother remains. And one point, there will be no thought. And whatever is remaining is pure transcendental consciousness. And that experience is not an experience. It is not an imaginary state. Understand? Sometimes people imagine. What happens? You imagined. No problem. First starting point, because we are used to seeing pictures in our head. So we picture this also. Whatever we read in the scriptures, we start picturing it. But what happens? You have pictured it and you think, oh, that experience was the right experience. But when you come to the world and when you are dealing with the world, you see, oh, I saw Divine Mother in my meditation. She was sitting like this. She accepted this. Wonderful, wonderful, great. But when you come back to the world and people behave bad with you, and your peace is gone. So that experience that you had, you should go back to that experience. Why is the peace going away? Because when peace goes away, I have seen people go away from sadhana also. And then they'll say, oh, I was doing sadhana so much and Devi was always there. But what happened to me in my life again? Because you didn't work. That Devi is not just in your meditation. Devi is in everything. A realized person, his consciousness does not get contaminated at all because he knows what I see behind my eyes is the same which is playing in forms. He goes beyond. His mind is always it's like a diamond. His soul is like a diamond reflecting that transcendental beauty all the time. To experience that purity of mind, to get into the transcendental consciousness, scriptures recommended, Gita recommended nishkam karma, action without any selfishness. Gita and other scriptures recommended devotion, bhakti, and bhakti starts with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Some recommended vairagya, renunciation, and Bhagavan summarized everything in Gita. Renunciation means renunciation of the phala, like you did something good to somebody. And then you may say, oh, I am a renunciant, I did good, I have to do good. You did it. But after doing the good, that person does not praise you or does not even say thank you. So first you'll be like, I did so much, he didn't even say thank you. Anyways, second level, you'll be like, it's okay, I'm not worried. I didn't want to thank you from him. It's okay, I just did my good thing. But if somebody comes and says, oh, that person was talking bad about you there, that is it. That'll trigger something in you. You'll be like, I did so much good thing for them. And look at them, what they did for me. Gone. All the good things that you did in vain. The next level is you did it and you forgot. They said thank you or they said, no, this person was not nice. No problem. Good luck to them. I'm happy. Forgot. What I did also, I forgot. That's how you do good deeds. And that is called vairagya. Living the fruits of your action, dispassion. So Janak says, all the scriptures are recommending all this thing for this one purpose. What is the purpose? To make your mind pure. Because that transcendental consciousness, the self, the soul will manifest only in a mind which is stain free. So Janak spoke so much beautifully. Ashtavakr is listening. And he said, I understood whatever you spoke. But one thing I want to clarify, please make it clear for me. You said taking away all the organs, the organs are in the world, and bringing them back, making them introvert. And in that introvert state of mind, you will experience the supreme conscious. Cooking, if it, as you say, that the mind made passive by elimination of thoughts is quite pure. You're saying mind has to be thoughtless. And that mind is pure. And that pure mind will manifest the supreme consciousness which is inside. Then I have a question. In sleep also, everybody is going through that stage. What do you mean by that? So when we sleep, eyes are closed, it is not seeing anything. Ears, even though they are not closed, but it's not hearing anything. We sleep 8 hours nicely, sound sleep. It doesn't hear. Hands, legs are not working. The breath is going on, but we are unaware. We are unaware of the breath even daytime also, but it is going on. Mouth is not talking. So when none of these organs are seeing any pictures, the mind is also not seeing any pictures. Sometimes it sees dream, but usually it doesn't see any picture. So you said a mind which is free of thoughts, mind is basically thought free. Dreams also will come for we don't know how many time, but most of the time the mind is thought free in sleep, and actions are not, and sensory, all the senses are not working. So since this is satisfying the condition that you mentioned, then is there any need for any kind of effort? Everybody can sleep and find that supreme consciousness. Easy. So sometimes, students ask this kind of question. Ashtavakra is not that, not like this, okay? He's very intelligent, but he's actually representing us. We sometimes think we are very intellectual, okay? And the Guru has explained us something and then we put our own logic there, something tangent. Okay, in sleep, you can experience transcendence. Why are people not experiencing this stage of transcendence when they're sleeping? So Janak said, you're right in one way, but listen carefully. When somebody is sleeping, the sense organs are sleeping, nothing is seeing anything, but the mind is also sleeping. And because the mind is sleeping, it is not able to see that transcendental consciousness. It is not able to see that supreme, because the mind is also gone to sleep. And then he gives an example. He says, a mirror. You keep a mirror. In front of that mirror, people are going, coming. So many scenes are happening in front of that mirror. Mirror is just like that, stationary. But scenes are changing in the mirror because people are coming, people are going, people are coming, people are going. Then somebody says, okay, I don't want the mirror to show anything, so much of things happening. You just painted black. So you painted the mirror black. So mirror is stationary, nothing. But the mirror is reflecting that black thing. No, nothing can be seen in the mirror now. No, scenes are not coming. But the mirror is black. It is covered with darkness. So mirror appears black. Same with this mind. Same with this consciousness. The mirror of your consciousness, which is expanded like mind. When it is open, it is seeing everything. Just like the mirror is stationary, the consciousness is there, but it is seeing everything. So the mind is seeing everything. When it is sleeping, the paint of darkness, the paint of tamas comes on the consciousness. And because it came on the consciousness, now it is not able to see anything. So what you said, in the night, the mind is sleeping. It is just like the mirror, covered by darkness. That is why the mirror is not able to reflect anything. Similarly, the mind is not able to affect anything. Newborn babies, they are very pure. But they cannot have that alertness because the consciousness is not in that stage. So moreover, then he goes on. When the mirror is dark, the mirror is still reflecting the darkness to itself, right? It may not reflect the picture of the world, but it is doing the darkness. So also is the stage of mind. Though in sleep, the mind is diverted from wakefulness and sometimes from dream. But still the mind is in the grip of dark sleep. And that is why it is not free from the Satogun, Tamogun, and Rajogun, those three qualities. And that is why you cannot experience that supreme transcendence. That supreme transcendence, O Parshuram, can be experienced only in Samadhi. So you have to understand the difference between sleep and Samadhi. And he goes on explaining, he says, there are two states of mind, Prakash and Vimarsh. Prakash means illuminated and Vimarsh means reflected. The mind, when it is thinking of so many things, whether it is in constant association or not, when it is deliberating on things, it is said to be the reflected stage, the stage of consideration. And mind, when it is free of all these images, it is said to be in the stage of illumination or prakash. So mind has two stages, illumination and vimarsh, consideration. When the mind has no objects in it, then the consciousness, then it can see the pure consciousness. But when the mind is seeing some objects, then it cannot see the pure consciousness. So the first stage, illumination, is mind free from objects. The second stage is mind full of objects. Again, the second stage, the mind full of objects, is also of two kinds. One, mind is seeing something practically and it is experiencing. Another, mind stores all of this as memory. So even if the things are not in front of it, the mind is still in that stage. So the vimarsh is one, the mind is seeing practically, and the another is mind is not seeing practically. So when we are awake, we are seeing everything. And when we sleep, all these things are in the subconscious memory and they come out and they make dreams. So in Samadhi, what happens? The mind becomes pure of all of this. There is no memory also of things. They also get washed away. There is no picture of things. There is no object of things. And when somebody can have this, the most closest explanation is you're a slumberer, a sleep, which is dreamless. But which is at the same time, it is awakened. Your mind is awakened. Then you're in Samadhi. Sleep is not that. In sleep, you are sleeping. But in Samadhi, your mind is awakened. You are seeing everything. You are seeing the significance of everything. So one must understand what Samadhi is. One stage is we are awake. We think, we are cognizant of everything. Second is we are sleeping. We are incognizant, but still there is something. The third stage is dream, where we are awakened. We see ourselves, we see so many things, and then again we go back to sleep. So this three state we experience. Mind is sleeping and mind is creating pictures. This we are experiencing. But in Samadhi, our mind is fully awakened and beyond the body. So Samadhi mind, yes, it is the same in Prakash. Why? Because the Samadhi mind, no more pictures are coming. What is happening? You have come to your pure consciousness, pure mind, thoughtless mind, pure consciousness. No thoughts arising, nothing. So that stage people will call as Turiya, Keval Samadhi, Kaivalya Samadhi. Then that is also called as Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So different name for this Samadhi stage where the mind is thoughtless. This is the path of the Gyanis. As I told you, Vipassana, this Sankhya. This is the path of the Gyanis. They reach to that stage of bliss. Both in Samadhi and sleep, we are oblivious of things around us. But in one stage, you are sleeping. The other, you are awake. And then he goes on giving examples that people do experience this stage in their daily life. But because they have not learnt it from the Guru, they do not know. Sometimes people go on talking about Samadhi, but they do not understand. But as per Janak, Samadhi is simply absence of thought. Such a state prevails in sleep and at odd moments of wakefulness. Yet, in sleep and at those odd moments of wakefulness, it is not called Samadhi proper because the mind is always working and it is manifesting things. The infinitesimal moment of seeing an object, and that is not being tainted with deliberation on its qualities, is exactly like Samadhi. I will tell you further. Not, he says, in Samadhi, the Brahman, the supreme consciousness, is continuously glowing. That supreme consciousness is Parachiti Tripura. She is glowing. She is the engulfer of time, engulfer of space. She is the destroyer of void. And she is the pure being. So one who understands this stage is beyond sleep. And that Divine Mother can be realized only in Samadhi. I'll take few more things from 17th chapter because it's very nice. And then we will end it up. I told you till Navratri, please bear. I'm not able to keep up with the times. All right. He goes on saying, Ashtavakra was listening. He said, please explain me more about this fleeting Samadhi that you said in the wakeful state. So people experience Samadhi in wakeful state also? He said, yes, they do. But they are not aware that they experienced it. What do you mean? He said, I'm going to give you example. Sometimes some guy, a guy gets married to a girl and then the girl comes and just hugs him, the wife. So during that hug, during that embrace, or during those moments of love, we just forget everything. People who are in love and who spend time loving each other, locked in a room, they can be there locked in a room for days and they enjoy that moment. They do not want to see the world. So that intense longing at that time when they have forgotten everything, it is just that moment. Samaichit, your mind is only focused on one thing, that you lost cognizance of everything else. You go in parks and, young couples, when they're busy kissing each other, they forget everybody else is around there. They're so engrossed in each other. That fleeting moment of Samadhi. But they don't realize that this is Samadhi. This is the example is given. This is not Samadhi because this is keeping them away. Okay. Samadhi's purpose is to go to God. But here they are experiencing it, but they are covered with ignorance. So they do not know. Similarly, there are also intervals of Samadhi, namely the interim period between waking and dream, sleep states at the time of sighting an distant object. The mind holding the body at one end projects itself into space until it holds the object at the other end. So if I see something far and I want to see what that is, I may be walking in a crowd and I see some known figure to me. Oh, that person, maybe I know that person. And the whole crowd I'll forget. I'll be just focused on that person. That moment, my mind is all concentrated. Samadhi. Then he goes describing more and more things. He says, like, you're walking in the mountains and suddenly a snake comes in front of you. At that moment, till now, you're like enjoying your song and walking, and then there is a snake. And you like, at that moment, you are like completely shocked. You don't know what to think. Thoughtless for a second, fleeting second. That is Samadhi. So people experience this Samadhi, but they do not know that this is Samadhi. So in sleep also, we sleep for a long time. That is almost like Samadhi, but it is covered with darkness. So we understood from all the systems, all those philosophers, they understood, they read this, they understood the science. That sleep is like Samadhi, but covered with ignorance. If we can be in deep sleep but out of this ignorance, then we can understand that pure consciousness. And they did that. So how does some few people experience Samadhi and not everybody is able to do that? So for that, the answer he gives, Janak says, cycle of birth is immemorial. People have been taking birth from God knows how many lives. But because of ignorance, they go through this cycle of pleasure and pain. This whole world is dream and unreal, but they are stuck. All this unreality can be ended by knowledge. But what kind of knowledge? He says wisdom that is born of realization. People may read books, but if they have not realized it, then they won't. Ignorance cannot be expelled by means of knowledge devoid of thoughts. For such knowledge is not opposed to anything whatsoever. Knowledge devoid of thoughts is like the canvas used in painting. The canvas remains the same, whatever picture may be painted on it. So one must work for that knowledge. And then he goes on explaining about various types of samadhi. And as I told you, there are two samadhis, nirvikalpa and savikalpa. So savikalpa, he said, when pictures are in the head. What Bhagavad Gita taught us. Well, the mind is used to seeing pictures, no worries. The mind has to be absorbed in something. The mind is used to being absorbed in thoughts. Let it be absorbed in the thoughts of the divine. This method, which we are learning here, is the method of the Gyanis. Bhagavan mentioned that in Gita. And it is very tough. He said that also. But for a bhakti, person who's following the path of bhakti, let his mind be in savikalp, no problem. But let the mind be not worldly, let the mind become godly. Whatever forms you like, if you like Krishna, let the mind for that be in that Krishna's thought, full hour, 24 hours. If you like Tripura, let the mind be in Tripura, 24 hours. So that is why Janak says, all this ignorance can be removed by wisdom. And where do you get wisdom? Wisdom you can only get from the Guru, from a master who has this wisdom. And who else is the greatest master? That's why all of you come to me, I first say, please read the Gita. Who is the greatest master of this yuga? Sri Krishna. He gave us the Gita. All these confusions are gone when you read the Gita. You may read thousands of books. You're reading Tripuras with me. You're seeing how difficult it becomes to understand at times. But Gita, Bhagavan made very easy. So theoretical knowledge alone does not bear fruit. Practical knowledge is necessary in Samadhi. How do you get it? When you learn from the Guru. This is what he's explained. So Nirvikalpa and Savikalpa Samadhi. People in the world do experience it, but because they do not know that this is Samadhi, they cannot make the best out of it. Those who have heard this knowledge now, they know and they start working on it. And by doing this, what happens? They are liberated. And he goes on telling, oh Brahmin, just look at the world. So many things God has created. And out of all these living and non-living things, you see, look at the human beings. How many of them are there? A fraction, like hardly. And out of that, those many human beings also, most human beings are like animals. He's saying, this is all written in Sanskrit. I'm just explaining the English because we have less time. Others I have taken all the slokas and explained. He's saying, oh, Ashtravakr, look at this planet Earth filled with living and non-living things. Out of that, humans are very less in number. And among that, humans also, most of them are behaving like animals. They do not know what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. Of them, at least some people are sensible. But those sensible people are also only running after the pleasures of life, seeking to fulfill their desires. Of those sensible people, some people are learned. But even after learning so much, they are only thinking about how to go to heaven. Of them, some are remaining whose mind, they're very knowledgeable, but their mind is covered with Maya and they are not able to comprehend that pure consciousness. So all these knowledge people are there, but still, because Maya has covered their knowledge, they're not able to comprehend. If they are not able to understand, how are they going to explain to others? Same thing in Gita Bhagavan says, Maya Pritganya. They're philosophers who have knowledge, but they're not free. They could not free themselves, nor can they free anybody. Maya Pritganya. Same thing Janak is saying. People blinded by Maya cannot see this truth. Even when people rise so high in the scale as to understand the theory, Misfortune prevents their being convinced of it. When you read Buddha's life, he says, he realized the same atoms going up and down. What a nuclear scientist realized. There was a scientist called Dr. Alvarez who brought the bubble chamber atomic theory, and he created the nuclear bomb. He got a Nobel Prize for that. Look at Buddha sitting at one place, meditating, getting into the consciousness and knowing that everything is just made up of atoms. Everything is just illuminated consciousness. But he is giving the message of peace. He's peaceful. Same thing, a scientist is also coming, making a bubble chamber. Life is like a bubble. He made a bubble chamber. Perfect. But he's making the nuclear, he's working on the nuclear science, atoms. But what is his consciousness? And what is the consciousness of Buddha? This is what he's saying. So Maya covered the knowledge. Knowledge is there. But Maya has covered the knowledge. One is becoming free and one is becoming bound. One is liberating others and one is killing others. Knowledge both of them have. So he says, misfortune prevents their being convinced of it. They have theoretical knowledge, but they are not able to apply it. I will now tell you how to go to the stage of liberation. One learns true devotion to God, to Tripura, after a meritorious life continued in several births. Same thing Gita Bhagavan explains. When you have two conditions to fulfill before you completely surrender to God. One is you have all the sins from your past lives have gone and you have acquired a lot of merits. Same thing here, he says. One learns true devotion to God only after a meritorious life continued in several births. Bahunam janma janmante gyanvan man prapadyante. He's saying the same thing in a different way. In many lives, then he worships him for a long time with intense devotion. He says in 63 sloka number. Ananta janma sukritay devata abhir bhaktir apyate. Same Gita. Many lifetimes pass away. And then you achieve this one-pointed, unflinching devotion towards Bhagavan. At that moment, what happens? You develop vairagya, in this passion. Vitaraga bhaya krodha. That's what Gita Bhagavan teaching. He says the same thing he's saying. Taya sanradha suchiram tat prasadata param vairasyam bhoga vrindeshu tatpara varancha prapnuyad vairagya tatpratvabhyam shraddhya chapi sangata. Dispassion for the pleasures of life arises in a devotee who gradually begins to long for knowledge of truth and then becomes absorbed in the search of it. He then finds his gracious master. Sadgurum prapya tat proktya. Then he gets his master. Sadgurum prapya tat proktya vetya advaitam parampadam. He finds a gracious master and learns from him all the transcendental state, about the transcendental state. He has now gained theoretical knowledge. Shravana, Bhakti starts with Shravana. Here, the same thing is said. He has now learnt it. He has heard it. After this, he is impelled to revolve the whole matter in his mind until he is satisfied from his own practical knowledge. And that practical knowledge is in harmony with the scriptures and the teachings of his master. He is able to ascertain the highest truth in the clearness of and certitude. Shravana manana. Bhakti, same thing. That a certain knowledge of the soul, self-realization, must then be brought into practice. Nididhyasan. Shravana manana nididhyasan. Gita. That practice, once you have realized it, that you are pure consciousness and the world is just pure consciousness, when you come back to the world, your consciousness is now in the world. It has to be put into practice, even forcibly if necessary, until the experience of truth occurs to him. After experiencing the inner self, he will be able to identify the self with the supreme and thus destroy the root of ignorance. There is no doubt of it. The inner self is realized in advanced contemplation, and that state of realization is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Memory of that realization enables one to identify the inner self with the universal self, Atma Paramatma. Or Nij Prabhu Mai Sab Jab Jana. I came to know that everything is just my Bhagavan. Dhyana has been said to develop into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, whereas modifications signify the many-sidedness of consciousness. Nirvikalpa Samadhi is where there are no thoughts, when the mind does not create any pictures due to its thoughts. The mind is in unmodified state, in its primal and pure condition. When the pictures on a wall are erased, the original wall remains. No other work is necessary to restore to its original condition. Similarly, the mind remains pure when thoughts are eliminated. Therefore, the unqualified state is restored if the present disturbance is ended. And then he goes on describing 3 types of people who are intelligent. The actually intelligent can accomplish the purpose. Aspirants may be divided into 3 groups: the best, the middle class, and the lowest. Of these, the best class realize at every moment, at the very moment of hearing the truth. Their ascertainment of truth and contemplation thereon are simultaneous with their learning. Realization of the truth requires no effort on their part. And then he goes on telling about his story. Take my case, for instance. On a moonlit summer night, I was lying drunkenly on a downy bed in my pleasure garden in the loving embrace of my beloved. I suddenly heard sweet nectar-like songs of some invisible devatas who taught me about this higher abode. After that, I heard it and I started meditating over it. And then I realized it in an hour. For about an hour and a half, I remained in Samadhi, that state of supreme bliss. And as soon as I decided on, and then I came back, everything started disgusting to me. My hankering stopped. I always wanted to be living in that infinite source of bliss within me. I was done with all these worldly foolish activities. They are shades of darkness and vain repetitions, useless labor. Bedibi, he says, the delicious dishes, the perfume garlands, the downy beds, rich ornaments, all these damsels, they were merely repetitions. There was nothing novel. Disgusted, I was with them because I was with myself because I was treading this way of the world. And similarly, when because I tasted that pleasure, I went back to meditation. Individual bodies, their senses, minds, etc., are similar to dream. They are projected from me. Control of one mind leaves all the other minds as they are. So what is the use of controlling my mind? Minds controlled or uncontrolled now just appear to me or to my mental eye. So then he went on describing his state. Once you experience that stage of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, whether you close your eyes, whether you open your eyes, you see the pure consciousness everywhere. Oh Brahmin, think over what you have learned now and you will realize, with the wisdom born of your realization, you will be free, eternally free. After giving these instructions to Ashtavakra, Janaka sent him away. Ashtavakra reached his own palace and put the lessons into practice. Very soon he became a Jivan Mukta. Thus we ended the 17th chapter. Tomorrow there are only 22 chapters, so I'm on target. I think I'll be able to finish it by the end of the Navratri. All right, your questions. Ma, it is difficult to only focus on the liberating self. I often pray for my daughters. That's why for us, Sagun Upasana was given and Bhagwan made it easier in Gita. He knows the difficulty and he said, this path is very difficult. So it's better you just, whatever you do, surrender unto me. So this knowledge we are giving because this is given in Tripura Rahasya. When we ask for well of the world, it comes to us as we are part of this world. So Saryadi bhala ho, yes, Saryadi bhala ho. I have to drop, no worries, hard stop. This is a very deep class, okay, no worries. Yes. Would chanting kirtan be part of cervical? It will lead you to cervical samadhi. Yes, yes. Ma, can we do Havan with Lalita Sasnam? Yes, you can do Havan with Lalita Sasnam. Ma, when I try to look at the world and my own thoughts without language and words, it gets me somewhat closer to meditative state, but gets easily disturbed again in this correct way to practice silencing the mind. Yes, it is one of the correct ways to practice silencing the mind. You must practice like that. Thank you, Smita. Questions are always there. The point is we need to go inside ourselves to really to the point. Yes, we need to connect with our own selves. Okay. All right. So we end it up here and then we'll meet you tomorrow with few more chapters. Okay. And maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll be done with this. All right. Good night and have a may Ma Lalita be always with you. Jai Shri Krishna.